the way my family, especially my mother, would handle conflicts. My family, my sister, the elder sister, we are 3 sisters. It is too primitive and backward. Imagine at my age, being beaten up physically.
That was last year.
Last year. What did I do? Is it because I was divorced? Is it because I did not go to the States? Is it because, I'm no longer in the full-time ministry, in the church? Why do they hate me so passionately? He has disowned the child. He has kicked out the child. Where does the child go? To me.
Of course.
So you can imagine, this young man, handsome man, 16 years old, you are staying with him, you are total strangers. You are total strangers. And it pains when you know this is my son, but you are not connecting. One, my son sank into depression.
Hello guys, today we are at New Start Hotel in Kayole along Naivasha Nakuru Highway. Na hapa tunashukuru sana the management of New Start Hotel kwa kutukubalia to shoot our video from here. So whenever you're around this town, you know exactly where to stop to access beautiful sceneries, very nice swimming pool and a massage parlor alongside the gym. And before we go further, I'd like to introduce the story that we're about to cover here today. It's a story of family bullying. A lady who has gone through so much pain and she's here to share her story with us. Get vulnerable with us. So we urge you, even as you listen to this story, please be kind to her, be nice to her. Hata namuona ameshafika. Catherine, you already here? It's very cold morning. Karibu sana to the show. No, unanikaribisha Naivasha.
Yeah, karibu sana Naivasha.
All right, let's go.
This is Kayole.
Yes, it's Kayole.
Hotel.
Nice.
Most welcome.
Asante sana.
Yeah, so.
Let's go and see where we will sit up.
Wambui. I come from Wambui County, but currently I'm residing in Naivasha, that is Nakuru County. I'll give a reason why I'm in Naivasha. I'm a born-again Christian. I'm a mother of 1. I'm 5th born in a family of 7. My father is deceased. But I really loved my father. Let me specifically talk about my father. But there is one thing that I did not like about him, the way he used to beat my mother.
Oh no.
So I grew up in where there was domestic violence. And my father was a lovely person. Yes, as I have said. I never heard him shout. I never heard him insult my mother. But I only saw him beating my mother.
As a young child, this affects you.
Yeah, and it really affected me. It really affected me because I was evaluating my life later in life, and I realized that environment of domestic violence, it really contributed to my upbringing and also to the way I would react to things, because I remember I grew up a bitter person. I don't know where this bitterness came from. I was a kind of, not really a bully, but, well, I did not interact so well with people because I would actually, the word is withdraw. Withdraw. I would withdraw from people. I was a kind of isolated. The other thing that I can remember when I was growing up is that I really worked hard in our family to look for acceptance, kind of, especially from my mother. I would cook. I began cooking at a very young age. I would wash, I would do ABCD to be accepted, actually.
Do you feel it was enough? Did it work?
I think it did not actually work, because I remember one day I had you know, swept the compound. I had washed the utensils. I had fetched water. I think I was at around 10 years or 11 years. And then my mother came, and then I stood there. I remember it very clearly. I stood there when she came, and now I'm smiling. And then I was expecting her to tell me,
Good girl.
good girl. Yeah.
I'm proud of you.
She did not say anything. I remember that day I went to bed and cried. So it's a kind of, I told her, Pastor, you can't see what I've done. You can't see. So I remember, and I think that is where my bitterness came from. I'm doing this, you know, because I remember in some families, they had, you know, some duties. Some duties would be given to one person and so on and so forth. You are the one who would to wash and but in our family, I did it, and I never complained actually. So when I got saved, I prayed to God never to give me, or I prayed to God that I will never get married to someone who beat me physically,
Right.
someone who will take alcohol, because I thought my dad was beating my mother up because
Of alcohol.
he was an alcoholic. Only to realize that even someone who does not take alcohol can really beat you hard and beat you properly. So, well, I think when I got saved, because I got saved when I was in Form 2, God came and, you know, He removed the bitterness from me, because I came to understand about issues. I came to understand, you know, the love I was looking for my mother. Maybe she did not have it herself. Remember, she is also going through some issues.
Yeah.
Remember, also, she is also demoralized. So maybe what I was looking from her, she did not have it. And when I was an adult and I was thinking about that, I felt, I pitied her actually and sympathized with her, because what I was trying to get from her, maybe she did not have it. So after Form 4, I did we called it copy typing course. That is not a full secretary. Then I worked for 1 year. Then I went to full-time ministry. It was during full-time ministry. After college, of course, Bible theology, I went to Church Army. Church Army is along Jogoo Road. It is currently called Carlisle College. So after college, that is when I got whatever married.
That's where you met your
Yeah,
ex-husband.
I had met him about 2 years before. Oh, not really 2 years before. We dated actually almost 3 years. So by the time I was getting into college, we were good friends. Then he proposed. So immediately after college, I worked for 2 years, 1 year I think, and then I got married.
How would you describe this dating phase? Did you see anything that was alarming to you?
Well, our dating was what we call long distance dating. And I did not see anything wrong.
Okay.
Because I felt the way I was trustworthy, he was also the same. And I did not even question, you know, his character.
Okay.
I knew him as a born-again Christian. So there is no single day I doubted his salvation.
Right.
And that's why we got married. So remember, I'm still serving the church full time. So when I got married, now that is when the marital challenges and issues came up. And the main thing was physical abuse. And that was the cause of our divorce. Because our marriage went for about 4 years. Then we separated, and then later we divorced.
By this time you already had given birth to your child?
Yeah, by this time we are divorcing. I had 2 children. But during separation, I lost my second born to pneumonia. Remember, during separation, I've gone back home.
Yeah.
I'm not working because when some issues come in the family, the church, there is a way the church reacts, even before they understand.
Yeah.
But so I had a break of 2 years. Then I was reinstated to the ministry, even after divorce. But later I was fired from the ministry.
They give reasons why.
For firing?
For firing.
One of the reasons is that, well, I was divorced. The other thing, after 14 years in divorce, I got to another relationship, and I realized this person, who is now a pastor, has lied to me that he doesn't have a wife.
Oh Lord.
Only to realize he's married, not once, not twice. So for me, I felt I have values. So I would rather be alone than be with them. So I went back to my bishop. I told him, this person has lied to me. For me, I cannot be in this marriage.
Relationship.
So we parted ways. Unfortunately, he died in Tanzania last year due to COVID. Sorry to the family. He also had a wife in Tanzania. So this time, the bishop called me and told me, I think you need a break, which I also felt I needed it. But later I went back to the church. Anyway, for 10 years I've been out of the church, out of the full-time ministry. Remember, I know nothing about business. I know nothing about kufanya kazi. I know only about ministry. My passion is in the ministry. And here the ministry has come to an end. I normally say, for me, I don't have a call to start another church. And actually, I still worship in my church. So I go to church. If I'm given, I do some volunteer work, like now where I'm worshiping. I normally talk to youth, yeah. I voluntarily, actually. I'm not paid. But remember, at the end of the day, I have some bills.
Exactly.
I have some bills to cater for. I have a house rent, I have food to nini, and so on and so forth. Okay. The other thing after divorce is that I was denied my child for 14 years.
Who took your child from you?
My ex.
Okay, your ex-husband.
After divorce, he was given the custody. I was denied even the access for 14 years. And that really almost killed me emotionally. And I had a lot of pain. Yvonne, it really pains you. When you know your son is being brought up by another woman, it really pained me. And I remember I used to go to him and plead with him. Yes, the court has said ABC, but please, give me the child, and the child will always remain your child. Anyway, he refused. I went to one school when I discovered where he was, and then after that, he was transferred. He was taken to a boarding school. It's really painful. It pains even today because I can see the effects the divorce has on my child. I can see the effects, the denial of the access to my child has today. And that is what I was overseeing. Today, Yvonne, I don't want to talk about my son.
I'm so sorry. Pole.
Even what happened after about 14 years. By this time, my child is about 16. And for those 16 years, I have seen my child once.
Does he know you're his mom?
He came later at 16 years. He was informed too. He came and told me, Mom. Of course, he would definitely call me,
He
Mom.
remembers, yeah.
And he told me, it is during holiday I've come just to stay, to see where you stay. I was supposed to go for tuition, and the money I was given, I said, let me come and look for you. So the father thought the child was at school. So the principal called, and he said, the child is not here. So because the time my child came, he told me, Mom, I don't want you to. Because when he came, I told him, please let us tell your dad that you are here. And he told me, no. He told me, my son told me, my father told me that the time that I will come to you, he will disown you. So after this 1 week, my son was to go back. But when he went back, true to his words, his father disowned him. He said, I have nothing to do with you. You went to look for your mother. Yes? Now I want you to pick everything that belongs to you and you go back to your mother. Remember, he has stayed with this child for about 16 years. Remember, this child is not staying with me because he chose to stay with me. He has not chosen to stay with me.
He was rejected.
But he has disowned the child. He has kicked out the child. Where does the child go? To me.
Of course.
So you can imagine, this young man, handsome man, 16 years old, you are staying with him. You are total strangers. You are total strangers. And it pains when you know this is my son, but you are not connecting. One, my son sank into depression. The other thing, by this time I was not working. So he can't, I'm not working. So what happens?
You're struggling.
He stays at home for 1 semester. So what is happening? My child is getting desperate. He is throwing words. He is telling me, you are the cause. Why my father, you cannot. So he would plead with the father, please, I want to come back. His father said, no, you are not coming back. My son sank into depression. Properly. I don't want to talk about him. But God has helped him. I have tried as a mother.
I'm so sorry.
When he finished, of course he finished Form 4. He's a very brilliant guy. He's very brilliant. Imagine he goes B-.
Wow.
He's very brilliant. He was in one of the best schools. So, because of this depression, he's having some issues here and there. So after Form 4, for those 16 years and later, many years, the father cannot pick the course. He cannot answer any message to do with the child. I remember the only message that he responded is when I asked him, can you please forward the certificate of birth when he was doing his Form 4, something like that. But he's now in Form 4. He has finished. You can see the environment that we are in. He does not know about the environment. So you tell the father, since you have brought up this child, he has now finished Form 4. Why don't you, even if you are not going to stay with him, he's now,
an adult.
Why don't you stay with him? You guide him, you mentor him. Because me, I'm a total stranger. The time that I wanted to have the child, you refused to give me the child. Because I could oversee this. I could oversee the disconnection. I could oversee this kind of life that my child is. He could not. If there is anything that my ex really managed to do, is to punish me, to torture me. He tortured me for 14 years without my child. He tortured the child also. And I want to speak to men. When you have differences with your wife, when you divorce with your wife, please take care of the child. Consider the child.
Yeah.
The child, I can be a bad wife, but I'm not a bad mother. This is my blood, this is my son. So when you deny me my son, what are you telling me? So listen here, man. You think you are torturing the woman when you deny her the children or the child. But remember, you are torturing the child, you are torturing the mother, and you, all these things will come back to you. There is God in heaven. All these, the tears that my son has cried. You know what? When people hear me talk about my divorce, it's a kind of, they say, oh, she wants to go back to the ex. No. That's a gone chapter. By the way, I'm talking of an issue of about 20 years ago or 22 years ago. I remember also, I was divorced on a Valentine. So that is how...
That's when you signed the papers?
Yeah. That is when the judgment was made on Valentine. So, when people say that, hey, it's a kind of, she wants to go back. No. Those years are enough, even for me to move on. But what has kept me not moving on? It's about the effects of the divorce. That I see in the when I see my child. But what pains me, Yvonne, and I have to say this, for 14 years that I stayed without my child, no family member ever asked me, how do you feel about your child? No single family member
stood with you.
Ask me even one single day, my sister, how do you feel about your child? How can we be of help? Nobody told me, can you intervene? That your ex can at least allow you to... Nobody. So, it's like kind of they did not bother. Even the effects that the divorce had on me. Because it was huge, especially when it was a child. People have been divorcing, so divorce is not... Yes, it is painful, but it's not a great tragedy as such. You know, there are some people who have never gotten married, so even after, yes, it's painful. Yeah. But the effects of the divorce, especially on the child, it pains, it hurts. And actually, there is a day I asked myself, is this the kind of person who had married me? You know, because it is so inhumane. Yeah, it is so inhumane to torture a mother with a child. You are taking my child to another woman, and I'm alive. And this mother, this mother, stepmother, she's throwing their children, he's crashing your children to the wall. My son has a wound here. And ask him, what happened? Yeah. He was crushed to the wall. And when the father came, he was told, aliuliza, akaambia sijui nini.
Some story too.
This story too. My son was told, usiambie, don't tell your father. And I want to challenge men. You have given some of our children or rather our children, for those who are divorced, to those women you love. But you don't stay with those children. You don't know how they are treated. Even I did not come prepared to cry. I thought I'm too strong, but someone said, sometimes you shed tears because you have pretended to be so strong for too long. So sometimes you find yourself, you are crying. Maybe you are sharing some of the things maybe you have never shared before.
Of course, and you open wounds when you start remembering
and so on and
those
so
things.
forth. And also, you want to some people to get some lessons from some of these issues. Yeah, my prayer is that those men who hear my story and the effects of divorce on children, they should think twice about their children, especially when they deny access. Not only it can also happen to men.
Of course.
There are some women
who deny access.
Yeah, it is evil. It is immoral. These children are very innocent. They are very innocent. Yeah.
At one point when you went back home after your divorce and after you lost your job, and yet no family member stood with you,
Yeah.
Did you tell them how you felt? Did you try and reach out to them and tell them that you need support? And what was their reaction?
Yvonne, I'm divorced, I'm back home. What do they need to be told?
Right.
They don't need to be told. Yeah, they don't need to be told. So I had it, let me tell you. Remember, I wedded in the church, I have come back, yeah? You know, that is embarrassing. Let me tell you, the third part of my story, which we are almost there, family bullying, how it began.
Yeah.
When I got divorced, I'm penniless. I don't have anything. Remember in 1998, around there, 99, we had booths. And some people had landline. I did not have coins to go and make a coin a booth. So our firstborn sister, you know, she had a landline. And when you have a landline those times, you know, it does not mean it's on a landline. At least you are a bit well up. So I went to borrow, you know, landline phone. I found that she was not there. Her daughter was there. And I told her I had come to borrow the landline, you know, and she told me, please, it is here, and it's not locked. You remember they used to be locked?
There used to be.
And I told her, no, because your mother is not there, let me not do it. And she insisted, Auntie, may her soul rest in peace, because she passed on. Auntie, please do it. I did it. I called. I was calling where I was working. I wanted them to release some shillings I had left there. So then I went home because I was staying at my mother's place. The following day, my sister came seriously, furious. This story I put it in my YouTube channel, Wambui. I normally do some videos. And some people have read it. She came and she asked me, do you know the costs of making a call? How dare you come to my house and make a call? The other thing, you got married the other day. You have embarrassed us in the whole village.
So in short, she's blaming you for your the marriage failing.
Yeah. You have come. Now you want my marriage also to go down because yours went down, you know, it hit the rock. Now you have coming to make us, you know, do you know the cost of me? Yvonne, I'm not perfect. But when I know my mistake, I'm so fast to say sorry. And I remember I was washing, and I told her, I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry, but this is what happened. And she said, stop being sorry. You have come to embarrass us. Then I looked at her and I told her, my mother is there. And I told her, you are telling me that I came to embarrass you? I began now tearing. Do you know the pain I've gone through? Do you know the physical fights I had? I told her, please, pray to God that none of your daughters will embarrass you the way I embarrassed you guys. By the time I was finishing that, my mother and my sister were on me. They beat me up physically.
What?
Because now I'm now engaging her, I'm challenging her. But remember, I've already said sorry. But she continues now attacking me regardless of what I'm going through. Remember also, this is the time I've lost even the second born. So they don't care about your feelings. Anyway, so now I'm staying at home. Later I got a job. Later I lost the job. We go back to family bullying. When I lost the job, after about now about 10 years in divorce, I had to go back home because this is the only place.
Of course.
By this time my son has come. I don't have anywhere else. And I normally challenge people who say that there's a particular age that you should not go back to home, to your home. It's your home. If you don't have house rent, you go back home, even at age 60, because it's your home. And Yvonne, remember, it's only women who are told you are not supposed to go home. But when your brother, who might even be within the compound of your father, when he loses, or when he separates or divorces with his wife, you know, he's eating at he can eat at your mother's place, yeah? He can stay at your mother's place, because as long as you are within the compound, you are at your mother's place.
Yeah.
But men have never been told you should not go back to your mother's home. Why should, when a woman is divorced, you are not supposed to go back to your mother's place? Why don't you go and look for a job? There is a time of dependency.
Of course.
And that is where I am even now. A time of dependency. Not a time of, people say you are lazy. I normally tell people, when you see people who are in need, don't think they are lazy. It is that time that they are dependent. But there comes a time when you are independent. But remember also, you need to be interdependent.
Yeah.
No one is an island. No one is an island. And I normally say this, it's not about things. It's not about money. It's about fellowship. Yvonne, I am more than money. I might not be putting anything on my mother's table. I've gone through a lot.
Yeah.
I have told you about the first beatings.
There were more?
There were more. Last year, September, I told you now I'm in Nakuru County. Jobless, homeless, without family, landless. Because you can see my issues. I've never worked. Issues. Last year, September. Yvonne, conflicts will always be there. Of course. Because we are human beings. But how are we managing the conflicts? You hear the word managing? Because you are managing. It's like anger. Anger does not go, but you manage it. So there are some issues that will always be there. And they are inevitable and necessary. Someone has said this, unless they become destructive. But for me, the way my family, especially my mother, would handle conflicts. My family, my sister, the elder sister, we are 3 sisters. It is too primitive and backward. Imagine at my age, being beaten up physically.
That was last year.
Last year.
So what happened?
Last year, September.
What happened?
There was no issue. I don't remember any issue. But you see, as I said, there are some disagreements with your mother.
Yeah.
Especially a mother and a daughter. When you're staying together, there are always some conflicts. And they are not big unless they are blown out of proportion. For instance, when I'm at home, I have to take care of my mother, even the way she dresses. If she's going for a wedding or to a wedding, I have to see she's properly dressed. I'm not saying my mother does not have the sense of dressing, because I know there is a way she can dress. When she goes, people wonder, does it mean she doesn't have someone who should have told her ABCD? But it became a fight. I tell my mother, please remove this dress. It became a fight whereby she dismisses me and tells me, he's your yako. The dress is not yours. The dress is not yours. Yeah, it's like the young people, the way they are saying, my dress, my choice.
Yeah.
And I normally say, this my dress, my choice is not a good idea or a good slogan. Because in the African setup, I don't dress for myself only. Imagine, Yvonne, if I came with a miniskirt here. My son will watch this this show. I have some Christians who believe in me. Yeah. So I'm very also sensitive in how I dress. How I dress. There's a way, Yvonne, you cannot dress, even because of your job. So when people say my dress, my choice, I normally question that because it is very selfish to dress for yourself. So when my mother is dressing, she's dressing for me, she's dressing for my brothers, she's dressing for the grandchildren, she's dressing for the community. And the community will judge me. Wambui, you are not taking care of your mother. Yeah, she came with this dress to whatever. You know, I repeat once again, my mother is not a poor dresser, but as her daughter. So that would create conflict.
So and that's what happened that day.
So one day, my brother had me talking with my mother. And he came because he takes alcohol, just like his father. He came from his house, which is just behind my mother's. He came direct into the house. And he fought me in the presence of my mother. My mother could not intervene. I was beaten thoroughly. Imagine you are not prepared for the fight. So he comes and he tells, because all along they did not want me to stay at home. No. All along. He beats me up. I get swollen because, you know, the devil likes the head. He beats me. Here. I was swollen. I went and took a P3. My mother is there. She's just watching. So I was crying and saying, we call them, you know, maito. Maito is the traditional way of addressing. Maito. Yeah. My brother is beating me in your presence. And you are not interfering. That was the most painful thing. Let me say this. And this is the first time I'm saying this in public. The house that my mother stays, I built it for her. It's a smoker house. It is semi-permanent. But I built it for her.
Because you loved her.
But you cannot tell your mother, I'm going to stay here because I built this. No. That is a house. That is a house. And building that semi-permanent house for my mother, it was sacrifice, I tell you. You have the first salary. I got myself into a circle because I had planned that by the end of 10 months, I would take a loan and build for my mother because I was preparing to get married. Our house was not cemented. I cemented it for her. Yeah. It is semi-permanent. So even this firstborn sister who is fighting me, even in Batmoja, even one sheet, we call it what? Mabati. Yeah. Yeah, she has not contributed. Even a nail, she has not contributed. So they thought I'm there because of that house. Yeah. Those who know our place, this is not a place whereby I can say, I've come to stay here. I had gone home for a particular period so that I get a job. I was dependent that time. I have a son. I took a P3, I was solid. 2 days after that, I was not at home. My mother comes. They take the P3 with my brother. It stopped there. I went for 3 days. I mean, I went for 3 months away from home. I went to Nini. I met a pastor, one of the most wonderful pastors we have. She worships with fame. She's called Pastor Soon. She has a school in Mombasa. We met in a prayer center because immediately I was beaten, I went to a prayer center. And I opened her. I didn't know her. I opened up to her. Actually, she found me reading one of the books by Nini, evangelist, Teresia. Okay. It is called Cactus in the Desert. And yeah, I got the book, Cactus in the Desert. And one of those people who owns the prayer center told me, do you know the owner of do you know one of the pastors mentioned here is coming to this place in the Cactus. So when she came, she told me, here she is. So I met her for the first time. I told her about my story and she told me, you know, let me go back home. I will try to see. So she helped me to get a job. I was a kind of relieving her principal for 3 months. These 3 months, I'm in Mombasa. The gossips are traveling into our place that I've gone to do prostitution in Mombasa. And do you know who is doing that? My brother who fought me, his wife. Yeah. So one day I came back after 3 months. I went back to our home because the Nini. Now I'm trying to heal my. Remember also my son is there. So one day I go to the church. I've done music, and after I preach, the following day I overhear my brother's wife saying she's singing in the church, yet she's not explaining to people that she went to do prostitution in Mombasa. She was with a neighbor and other guys there. I overhear that. But Yvonne, you cannot say anything. After Mombasa, my brother beats me again. Because I could hear him drunk. Because he used to enter the house of his mother. And I did not like his talks. Alikuwa ananitukana, you are a prostitute in the presence of my mother. My brother insulted me and fought me physically in the presence of my mother. Then one day, I'm putting mattress. It's like a small house, putting mattress. Just the way I do it today. I put a mattress there. And one day, my sister comes and, I'm also hanging my clothes in that category because it's not big, but I'm covering them very decently. I take the mattress, I put it behind the coach. And then she comes and, there are no issues. And she tells me, that is September, August, before it ended, 2021. And she tells me, you are embarrassing us. What if I came with my husband? Nikamuuliza, what? What if I came with my husband, the mattress is here, the clothes are here? Nikamwambia, let me tell you. This is me, and this is how I am for now. So even if your husband came, it will be okay because he knows I'm not working. He knows I'm not working. And she told me, today is today. Then I told her, now this time we are with my mother and our elder brother. I did not know there was a kind of a meeting. I did not know because I was just caught inside the house. Remember, she has come, we have greeted. She comes in, they start chatting with the mother. I go and start washing utensils outside there. Then I'm caught. I didn't know there were issues. So I tell her, even if anybody comes, this is how I am. This is where I am for now. And then she tells me, today, I'm going to throw this mattress and these clothes outside. And then she began saying, the way you embarrass my mother, the way I hear you are talking negative about I looked at her and asked her, do you have anything with me? Is there any grudge between us? Akaniambia, today, I'm the one who is saying. Nikamwambia, I'm not ready for a fight. I've been fought enough in the presence of my mother. Today, I'm not ready for any fight. So I woke up. By the time I was reaching the door, she came, closed up the door, and threw the key outside. Do you see? Now, for me, I want peace. I'm not ready for a fight. But she's ready. And my mother is also ready. So, I am forced to sit down. A mother of 50 plus, 56 plus. Because you are ready for a fight. I sit down and I engage her. I tell her, I'm not ready for a fight. I've been fought enough. I remind her about the first time they fought me with my mother. And by the time I'm finishing that, I'm being beaten. I'm seated that.
Who is beating you at this point?
My mother and my sister. My sister. But apart from the physical fight that I'm receiving, I've received a lot of emotional abuse, verbal abuse. My mother would compare me with, she would mention a friend of yours. Look at her. Your friend is driving. Your friend has rental houses. Yvonne, let me address mothers. It really hurts when you compare your children. It really hurts. Yes, they have what they have. But don't compare me with them. Don't compare me with them.
Let me ask you, do you think your mom hates you?
Yeah. Yvonne, my mother...
Why do you say that?
My mother hates me properly. Remember, as a child, how I was doing things for me to be accepted? Even today, that's what I've been doing. Anytime I have money, it's kind of, I want to do something for her to accept me. So when I don't have money, you are not good enough. My mother hates me. Yvonne, who does it? You watch your daughter being beaten up by his brother or by her brother. You are watching. You are the center stage of the conflict. 2 days after they fought, this second time, in September, they ran to the chief's office. And my mother says, I want my daughter to be thrown out. And I receive a summon from the chief. I want you to come to my office because of the allegations. I received the letter and I cried the whole night. Why would my mother take me to the chief? They are all together now. Even some, let me use the word some, of my nieces, they could abuse me. But by the end of the day, you are the one who is wrong. And I'm their auntie. But because they have been tarnished. Oh God.
I'm so sorry for what you've gone through.
I'm leaving out a lot of things. I can talk even for 3 hours.
Talking is
my mother hates me because if she really loves me, she cannot watch me being beaten up. She cannot be part at the center of stage. And then she goes out there and brag to people that I beat even the ones who you see. Even those who preach to you, I beat them. What kind of a mother does that? My mother abuses me. No woman of your age stays with his mother. No woman of your age stays with her mother, sorry. And I ask her, am I a woman to you or am I your child? It's a kind of, you are begging her to love me. You are begging for her blessings. In fact, sometimes I wonder whether my brothers are my brothers, whether my sisters are my sisters. Why do they hate me so passionately? My family hates me so passionately. Not once have I been humiliated. In a conversation, you say something, it's a kind of...
Because it's
psychological. I've gone psychological torture. Why? What did I do? My family, I want to address you. What did I do to you? You hate me so passionately. I call my sister and ask her, what did I do to you? Because there is something that I have left. By this time, my sister is beating me up. About 4 months before, she had lost her daughter. A niece that I really loved. In fact, she appears in one of my songs. And then when she was admitted at the hospital for 1 week, nobody told me my niece was sick. Nobody. Then she died. Nobody told me my niece was sick, was dead.
So sorry.
I loved my niece. Nobody told me, but she dies very early in the morning. But at 5, and we are almost in the same locality. Everybody knows that my niece died. Then I overhear from the radio. One of the fans of the radio, one of the radios, she had, passed her condolences. And she says, I'm passing condolences to so and so. And here I am in the house, I'm holding, buckets of water from outside. And then I hear, that is my brother-in-law who has died. And then I put the buckets. Now I'm scared. I don't know the daughter was sick. I don't know she's dead. Now I'm just speculating, who is dead there? Is it my brother-in-law? Is it my sister? Is it one of their children? You have the attachment. These are your nieces. These are your nephews. This is my sister, regardless of how she treats me. And then I overhear from the radio that she's dead. Everybody knows, the village knows. I'm the only one who did not know. And then what happens? Yeah, I took it easy. I went, I did what I did because I loved my daughter. Mm-hmm. Who does that to her sister? Even when your friend dies, you let other people know. Every family member knows. Why does my family hate me this so passionately? Even the death of my niece, they cannot tell me. They can't tell me. Why do they hate me this? What did I do? Is it because I was divorced? Is it because I did not go to the States? Is it because, I'm no longer in the full-time ministry, in the church? Why do they hate me so passionately? I did not apply for the misfortunes. Unfortunately, let me tell you what. One day my mother told me, I'm behind all your misfortunes. What? I'm the cause of... That was, what we normally call the straw that broke the camel's back. Yeah. I looked at her. Mm-hmm. I cried. And I remember I told her, Mom, even people who do things to people, they don't say it. Now you are saying you are the cause of my misfortunes. Okay, I was taken to the chief. I was told to sign. To commit myself that I don't have anything in that house. Remember the house? Yeah. The one you built. That is what they have in mind, that I want the house. Remember, you don't have any property at your mother's. I told the chief, bring that pen. If they think it's about things, it's not about things. We don't have land at home. Yeah? But they are after this. This house, they're after this, whatever. Anyway. Yvonne, the Bible says, honor your mother and father. Right. I honor my mother. My father went to the grave knowing that I really loved and honored him. But the Bible still continues saying, do not provoke your children to anger. Consider their feelings. Consider their feelings. Yes, I respect my mother. Actually, when I was in the full-time, I was a teacher of the catechism. The 5th commandment. Yeah. And also in the Ephesians, I think chapter 6, it talks about honoring your mother. Because this is the only command that has a promise. I honor my mother. But she has provoked me so much. She has irritated me so much. Yvonne, it is very sad when you talk about family issues. Because family is everything. Yeah. Someone says family is the fabric of your personal life. So it hurts when you're talking about family issues. But should I die because I cannot talk about family issues? I don't have my cousins to talk to. Because anytime I talk about it, my character has been assassinated. I go to my uncle and he tells me, no, with your mother and your issues, I'm not there. I tell them, because there is a time my uncle came, I called her. And my mother was not happy about that because I wanted us to talk. She doesn't. Yeah. I keep on asking her, what is the remedy? And what did I do to you? You go there outside and you tell people things that I've not done to you. What have I done to my mother? And I want to address, what have I done? I have forgiven you, my brother. I have forgiven you, my sister, because I'm a Christian. I have forgiven you, people. But I really long for the day that you people, you tell me that I did you ABCD. I don't know what I did. What reason can my sister give for not telling me that my niece has died? I left home. And it's painful, it hurts. Because of the family disputes that were there. When I came here in Naivasha, I sank into depression. Because I have gone through a lot. Nobody is there for me. I know some people will tell me to go for deliverance. But I go and pray. I have pastors. But it's good to share, people to understand that it's prayers and also supporting the pastor. Even I'm here because, I meet people and they look at me and tell me, you look good. I feel it hurts, but people don't know that. Because inwardly, I'm dying inwardly. I told you, I sank into depression. I went for therapy. I've been going for therapy. I need money for therapy. I need money for house rent. Therapy is helping. One of the therapy that I've realized, Yvonne, is very important. Is whereby you go to a theater, a prayer center. You scream there. Like Heaven's Gate, it's a very wonderful place. I go there and I scream. I vent out. I stress out. Because God is the one who has my solution to my problems. Yes, you can help me with finances because I need finances. I need finances.
I was actually coming to that. For a Kenyan who is watching you right now, and they would like to come through for you and support you and be with you, because right now, the way you are telling your story, it's been a story of rejection throughout. And for someone who has been touched by this and they would want to show you that they love you and they're there for you, how can they support you?
Well, this is Tuko family, and I know you are a wonderful family, and I love you. I watch your shows. I do music. Okay. Please, Tuko family, I encourage you to go to my YouTube channel, Wambui, and subscribe, please. Subscribe, because that is one way I can, reach the watch hours, and maybe I start having some
revenue
some revenues. Yeah. I also do motivational talks. They're on my YouTube. I've covered some topics like you're stronger than you think, because I know even if I'm crying, if I was not strong enough, and this strength is not from me, it's from God. I'm not strong, I'm the weakest person. So I've covered some of these topics. You're stronger than you think. Dare to be vulnerable. I'm not embarrassed to be vulnerable, because there are benefits that come with vulnerability. I've covered that on my video. Please, I know my video are not so clean. If you are there and you want to assist in video shooting, maybe you have a camera you want to help me with, maybe you want to support me, maybe I can hire someone maybe for 1 year to be doing me the camera thing and what have you. I want to put my whole story in the YouTube, because my desire is to have a show whereby I encourage people to speak their hearts out, to speak their issues. Because when we speak, Yvonne, do you know how many people are in the grave? Especially because of family issues. Because they were told, these are family issues. You don't talk outside there. So the next time you commit suicide. I thank God, because, well, maybe I'm not strong. There's a time when I came to Naivasha, I thought, I don't have my son. He's there. I don't have anybody with me. I'm not in the church. It's a kind of, I'm rejected. But later on, I did a video on the benefits of rejection. The benefits of rejection is that you are evaluating yourself, and God will hold you through. So in my YouTube channel, Catherine Wambui, there is music, there is motivational talks. So please, whichever way, finances or camera or equipment, whichever way you feel you want to help me, please, I'm here. I'm not crying to be helped. This is a very emotional story. And it's about family.
Right.
It's about, the other thing is about, I want to talk to my ex. I want to address you. You know yourself, the father of my child. We divorced 20 years ago, but remember you had the son for 14 years. Please, I'm not with with your son. We disconnected. Now my son is in Banana. He's with my mother place because my son refused to come with me because we don't connect. If something happens to my son, he's not with the father, he's not with the mother. Please, my ex, you know, if I text you something about my son, you don't respond. When I call you, don't respond. But for the sake of your son, I've done everything. I don't want to mention what I have done here. Go to Banana and get your son. And I want to tell you, the day I will know that my son is with my ex, I'll be the happiest person. I know my son wants to go back to his father, but his father has been having blocks. I don't know why he blocks it. Please, my ex, connect with my son.
Okay.
Thank you so much, even for the opportunity.
You're so welcome. You haven't shared your number.
Yeah,
So
my number, which is also M-Pesa, let me say that, 0721 69 38 39. 0721 69 38 39. Catherine Wambui. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
All right. Thank you so much, Catherine, for being vulnerable with us, for trusting us with your story. We don't take it for granted. And on behalf of all those people who have hurt you, I apologize. You don't deserve this. You're much, much, much worth more than you think, more than anyone we may think you know. So we thank you so much. You're so welcome.
Thank you, Tuko family, for the opportunity. Thank you.
Well, there you have it. That has been the story of Catherine. And from here at Tuko, we wish her the very best. We hope that you can support her in whatever way you feel you're comfortable or able to do that. Before we wrap up, we would like to appreciate Newstead Hotel for allowing us shoot this video from their space. We thank them so much for their hospitality. You can visit their Facebook page, which we will link on the pinned comment. Thank you so much for watching till the end of the show. My name is Yvonne Kawira. Until next time, be blessed.